Hey Scorpios, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your first half of June general reading here. And speaking of June, let's speak about Johnny Cash. I'm referencing June Carter, of course, but Johnny Cash came up in your meditation. How fun. I feel like the overall message with Johnny Cash coming through to represent the Scorpio collective is speaking directly to the point that he was known for having, he did things his own way, and that's what made him so cool. You know, because I heard Ring of Fire as well. And it wasn't just that he did things his own way, he was also enormously talented. I feel like you guys are either embracing, waking up to, or stepping into what you particularly are genius at. And I'm choosing the word genius over good. Because it's not just about what you're good at, it's like what you're a genius at. And there's this, okay, you know that saying of it always seems like the person who doesn't care or doesn't want it gets the job? I just saw 111 on the timer. That it's that energy of wanting something so badly that can keep us from actually manifesting it. And it's that Abraham Hicks thing of if you want something, release it type of deal that's really coming through for you. And there's this energy around this Johnny Cash kind of devil may care sort of energy of here, man, I'm cool. Like either way, no matter what happens, I'm cool. I'm still here. I'm still me. And I do feel like this is coming as a result of you feeling the need to control something or aspects of yourself, others, you're given circumstance, environment, and then figuring out or getting the memo that didn't really get you anywhere that you enjoyed being. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to try something else and releasing hold of the steering wheel. And that's what sort of manifests this really yummy energy that I feel coming towards you, which is very cool. Okay. What is the animal energy for Scorpio for first half of June? Oh, okay. This is really funny. You know how Johnny Cash was known as the man in black? And I was going to say that. So he was known as the man in black, right? And you got the black egg. So the black egg is so good. So by the way, this circle here represents spirit energy, right? Which speaks of you're in a place that is particularly magical, informed, positive, momentous, can change things in the path going ahead for you, which is really, really cool. This is kind of the equivalent of like a major arcana in the tarot. So the black egg is about the truth. The truth and nothing but the truth. That's what this is. But it's also about the truth, the unchangeable and immovable truth, right? Now let's look at this. Remember how I said that this is about getting very clear on or embracing or moving ahead with what you in particular are genius at? This black egg here, remember how I said no matter what happens, it's like I'm still here, I'm still me, and I'm gonna roll with the punches, and you know what I mean? It's that kind of energy. That's very much the black egg. This is indestructible. This is dragon energy, by the way, right? Which is about seeing oneself and others clearly. What differentiates the black egg from that of the actual dragon energy is this is the product of the dragon energy. The dragon energy is an energy you move through where you are identifying the truth of yourself and others and seeing things clearly, which lands you with the black egg. This is like your reward. This is the award that you place on your mantle. I graduated from the course of clear seeing and self-knowledge. That's what this is. This is indestructible. You can bite down on this all day long, you know, won't crack or splinter. That's just what it is, right? But this is about that kind of truth that once you acknowledge it, right, and really give it credence, you really have very little choice but to operate from and in awareness of this indestructible, immovable, irrefutable truth. This is your truth. This is also about your unique perspective that you bring to the world, a la, why are you here? Why are you here? Okay. Ooh, this is exciting. Okay, what's going on for Scorpio? Dream time. Some of you might be having what you think are nightmares, but they're not, okay? They're actually really good information and actually clues. Some of you are going to be getting answers to questions in the form of dreams that feel like nightmares, but they're not. Notice what about them appears to be nightmarish, and what is that telling you? I feel like they're coming in that format to get your attention, okay? But it's not really a nightmare. Judgment. Remember how I said this is the equivalent of the major arcana in the tarot, and then you have your first key up here is a major arcana. I love it. So this is the judgment key. So the tagline of this key is look back with pleasure. So this is about the past. This is about the past, right? And the dawn and the freshness and the newness that comes as a result of being at peace with one's past. This is about being at peace with one's past. Because when we're at peace with our past, then it no longer subconsciously informs our actions or our inactions. Does that make sense? Sometimes the past is still very much informing how we see things and what we do and the choices we make out of fear, as is brilliantly represented by this rabbit here in this Alice in Tarotland deck, right? It's about being at peace with your past. And also allowing it to inform your fears and how you see things, and allowing it to inform you in general, right? Those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it, right? Okay. Ooh, Tower at the bottom here. Two of Wands. So this makes a lot of sense. So this is building your blueprint, right? So we have the Ace of Wands, which is that initial burst of fervor, energy, direction, creativity. And then we get to the Two of Wands, which is like, well, hold up. Let me figure out how this is going to look, where are the stops along the way, what is my desired goal and destination, right? I'm going to tell you something that I'm getting with this. I feel like this is feeling to me like a reversed energy, and I'm going to tell you why. I feel like you guys have been in this Two of Wands place for several moments. And I feel like Spirit, it's this very distinct feeling of Spirit just gently nudging you into the Three of Wands, where you're, honestly, I feel like you guys have been here maybe just a moment, you've lingered just a moment too long, and they're like, okay, let's get to the Three of Wands here, let's complete this suit. It's a very distinct feeling here. There's a lack of confidence here about, it's either a lack of confidence or lack of awareness about what you particularly is your creative genius, your personal genius, what you are really, really good at, a la why you are here and what you're here to do. There's something here about your story as well. From the perspective, because again, the black egg is that truth, right? I feel like some of you guys are being called to get clear on what your story is and looking at it objectively, but also looking at it through a lens of, I feel like some of you guys are looking at your story, right? About the past, about where you are right now, about where you got to where you are right now. And you're being asked to just shift your perspective and look at it from a different camera angle. Look at the B-cam side, okay? There's something about that. Looking at it from a different angle, because looking at it spot on is only giving you one perspective, one angle. And you're being asked to just swivel, right? And look at it from another perspective here. There's a lot of information in that for you, and it's going to help propel you forward, okay? Okay, I can't. First of all, at the bottom of the deck is the High Priestess, intuition, hidden knowledge, justice, high and Hale. Another major arcana here. Okay, so you guys are definitely in a very important cycle here. So Justice, this is beautiful Libra energy here. This is everything being, fair and just, you don't say, being as it should be, right? This is success in legal agreements, matters of home and property. This is also about, possible relationships around you that maybe haven't been completely balanced or equally reciprocal in nature, coming into greater balance, okay? But again, I have to tell you, I feel like because I just, look at how this is storyboarding. Number 11, by the way, this Justice key. Look at how this is storyboarding. You have this major arcana in the Judgment key, which is look back with pleasure, right? Then you go to the Two of Wands, which feels a bit stuck. It just in this context, it does. It feels a bit stuck and stagnant and like it wants to be moved, but it's not quite moving. And then you get right into the Justice key. See how she's looking over here? It feels like there's this reticence to make some difficult decisions or discern some truths. Okay, I'm hearing to question your preconceived notions and the story that you've been telling yourself. Either about your own story, the stories of others, why you're here, why you're not here. Rewrite the script, tear it up, burn it, write a new one, reframe it, laminate it, drown it, twist, tie it, permanent marker pencil. Like really looking at it from a perspective. Because if you think about it, Johnny Cash was a great storyteller. You know what I mean? He was a great storyteller. And I feel like the whole point of this reading is, what is your story? And not being afraid to question the story that you've told yourself or that you've ascribed to up until this point. Maybe the story that other people's have told, I talk pretty one day, that other people have told you. Okay? There's something about that. You know what? Okay, I can't. I'm getting this really funny image of Lois Lane from Superman, the reporter. Lois Lane with yourself, but it's about coming at it from this objective standpoint, which can be very difficult. But I feel like it's through the objectivity that the indiscernible or that the immovable truth is revealed. Irrefutable truth, yes. Through objectivity, the irrefutable truth is revealed. Just another Monday. Okay, you have Judgment clarifying the judgment. You know I love it when this happens. So I've already talked all about this, but I want to say something. It's so beautifully depicted here. And with the angel having, you know, it's back to remember how I said it's you know, look back with pleasure. I'm really hearing to look to your past and look at what you've ascribed to up until this point. Don't be afraid to question it. And if you can truly say, I can look back with pleasure, then that's a beautiful thing. And then you are leaving yourself a clear slate from which to move from and to manifest from. But there's something about the past here that wants to be looked at, reviewed by you. Okay? Storytelling, storytelling, storytelling. The more honest you are with the more honest you are with yourself around your story, around who you are, why you're here, where you've messed up, where you've gotten it right, where you've been wrong, the more that other people will be able to relate to you and feel a sense of authenticity from you. Okay? Two of Wands. Six of Cups for the Two of Wands. Guess what? This deals with the past. Sitting a theme. You know, Six of Cups is very much a water energy here, by the way. Six of Cups is that nostalgia, right? But it's also those relationships that make you feel like a kid again or that are from your actual childhood. This is generational bloodlines. Remember what I said about looking at your past and really considering what beliefs or belief systems or truths or lies or whatever have you've ascribed to? Remember how I said it feels like you've been in this Two of Wands a little long? I'm seeing now. There is a emphasis and focus on the past or your childhood or something that wants to be reviewed there, okay? Because I feel like I want to flip her around so that she's looking at the future. I can't really do it here, but it's like she wants to be flipped here and on to the next step, right? Yeah, it really does feel like if you allow yourself to tell the story of your past, you can in turn release it as well. There's something about that. Don't let your past keep you from your future, your best and highest and best future, right? I'm tapping into someone who looks at the past and looks at the far off future more than they look at the present. Interesting. Okay, Justice. Oh, hi, the sun. Okay. So, y'all, You have Judgment and Judgment, the two major arcanas. Then you have Two of Wands with the Six of Cups, two minors. And then you have the two majors that ended off, the Justice and the Sun. This is truth. Illumination, more childhood energy here. This is exactly, you know, same song, different verse, peoples. Right? What in your atmosphere wants to be brought into the light, and by doing so, will you feel relief? I have this very distinct feeling of it's very important. It feels like a lesson that I'm tapping into a group of you guys, that part of the reason you're here, part of the lesson you're learning at this moment is learning how to admit that you were wrong or are wrong, or that you remember something a bit biased, from a biased perspective, that maybe the way you remember something isn't actually how it happened. That there's your version, my version, and the truth lies somewhere in the middle. It feels very important to say. And there's this emphasis that I'm tapping into about being willing to acknowledge that you were wrong, or maybe you remembered it, you know, differently than it actually happened. There's a balance of karma and relationships that wants to come up for review right now. And again, I keep getting this telling your story, why are you here, tapping into your personal genius. And the generator for that, the generator of energy for that is the truth. It's the black egg, right? It's the graduation point from the dragon energy. If you know that quote of the more I live, I don't know who said it, Lord knows, but the more I live, the more I realize that I know a lot less than I do know. It was very pertinent. And I don't say that in a shady way. I just say, I feel like it's this idea of the eternal student. Right? It's like Rumi all day, every day. I'm getting Rumi vibes here as well, where it's like the more that you appreciate and can acknowledge and embrace that feeling and action of being an eternal student, that's the key. That's where the juice is. That's where the light is, right? That's where the light is. There's also some aspects of yourself or relationships in your atmosphere that aren't as reciprocal as you wish they were or as they could be. Now, this could be you towards someone else towards you, you know, whatever have you. But there's something here. It could even be someone that you have a legal agreement with, or that you're in a partnership with that is business related, or you have a contract with, marriage, business, home, landlord, whatever have you. But there's something here that wants to be called into your attention, but it feels very positive. Justice in the Sun, you're exactly where you're meant to be. You're just being asked to you know, kind of do a self-check around how you're perceiving things. And notice when you react to something as opposed to respond to something. Being willing to admit where you may have been wrong or seen things, you know, from a biased perspective. That is the sign of real growth. That's the eternal student archetype. That's what I feel like you're being called to do too, is embrace the archetype of the eternal student, because from that place, you become, you know, wiser and wiser and wiser, right? I really love that New Moon Promise is on the bottom here, by the way. Obsessed with this, which is how the new moon in Gemini. This always reminds me of the West Bank Pier in the West Village, Manhattan. One of my favorite places. But enough about me. So you've got Waterfall, Effortless. This is so beautiful. You know, I just want to say, you guys are water signs, right? So I love that this is coming up for you in this way. But I want to say that rocks are eroded, right? So water can change the formation of rocks, but it takes time and consistent effort. Do you remember when I said that there was this feeling at the top of this where it was like you'd had enough of gripping the steering wheel and feeling the need or trying to be in control, so you're doing the complete opposite by Johnny Cashing it and like stepping back and going, I'm just going to release my will or my need or my strong want for this or my try to control over it, and that's what allows things to come forward into you and manifest. I feel like some of you guys are manifesting a contract around something, actually. A contract for work, a contract for some sort of deal, a home contract, and what is that called? Rights distribution? I don't know. But it's a good thing. The Sun. It's maybe even something that is a surprise that you weren't expecting. But what manifests it to you is like you release control and it starts coming towards you and you're like, oh my God, are you telling me that all I had to do to manifest my highest and best good was to take my hands off the steering wheel? Yeah. My beautiful Scorpios, this is stunning and beautiful, and I absolutely love it for you. With that being said, this is your first half of June general reading. I so hope that this helped and resonated with you. If it did, please let me know in the comments below. I really love reading your comments. And just thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, and most of all, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.